Hey everyone, and welcome back to the English Learning Podcast, the place where your English gets better with every episode. I'm your host, Brain.
And I'm Anna. And today, we're diving into something that so many learners struggle with, that frustrating moment when you want to speak English, but suddenly the words just disappear from your mind.
Yes, you know what we mean. You're in a conversation, you're excited, you're ready to speak, and boom, your brain goes blank. It's like the word is right there, but you just can't remember it.
We've all been there. Even native speakers sometimes lose words. But for language learners, this problem can feel especially discouraging. So today, we're going to talk about why this happens, what to avoid, and what you can do to fix it.
Exactly. We'll also share some real stories from learners, easy memory tricks, and ways to speak confidently, even when you forget words.
So if you've ever said, "I want to speak English, but I always forget the words," then stick with us, because this episode is just for you.
Let's get into it! So let's begin with the big question. Why do we forget words while speaking English? I mean, you know the word. You've studied it before, but when it's time to speak, poof, it vanishes.
Right? It's like your brain just hits the pause button. And honestly, brain, this is super normal. One of the biggest reasons is performance pressure. When we're speaking, especially with others listening, our brains go into nervous mode.
Exactly. And that stress messes with your short-term memory. Imagine your brain as a desk. When you're relaxed, everything is organized. But when you're stressed, it's like someone dumped a bunch of papers all over the desk, and now you can't find the word you're looking for.
I love that example. And there's also the fact that speaking is fast. Reading or writing gives you time to think. But when you're speaking, everything happens in real time, no pause button, no Google Translate.
Totally. Plus, many learners try to translate from their native language into English in their heads. That takes extra brain power and often slows you down, which makes it easier to forget the word mid-sentence.
Right. It's like trying to run while solving a math problem. Your brain just can't keep up.
Another reason? Lack of use. Just because you saw a word in a textbook doesn't mean it's stored in your active vocabulary. If you don't use a word often, your brain stores it in a passive zone. You understand it, but it doesn't come out when you speak.
And that's totally okay. It's not that your brain is broken, it's just that you need more practice using the word in real situations, like speaking out loud, role-playing, even talking to yourself in English.
Exactly. So just to summarize this part, we often forget words because of pressure, translating in our head, lack of usage, or just natural brain overload. But the good news is there are solutions.
And that's what we're going to talk about next. But first, let's hear from a few learners who've been through this exact struggle.
Stay with us. Their stories might sound just like yours.
Let's take a moment and hear what real English learners have experienced. Because trust us, if you're forgetting words, you're not alone.
Absolutely. One of our listeners, Maria from Brazil, shared this. I've been studying English for 3 years. I can write essays, I understand movies, but when I try to talk to someone, I freeze. I know the word, but it just disappears. It makes me feel like I'm not improving.
That's such a common story. And here's another one from Arman in Kazakhstan. In class, I'm confident. But outside, when I meet a tourist or speak with a native speaker, I forget even simple words like umbrella or ticket. Then I get frustrated and stop talking.
That frustration is real, and we totally get it. But it's important to realize this doesn't mean you're bad at English. It means your brain is still building the connection between knowing the word and using it fluently.
Exactly. And we love this one from Fatima in Morocco. She said, I started talking to myself in English at home. I'd describe what I'm doing. I'm brushing my teeth. I'm making tea. At first, I forgot words all the time, but after a few weeks, I noticed I started remembering more and more.
That's such a great example. Practice, even small daily practice, helps move words from passive memory to active memory, where you can grab them quickly when speaking.
So, if you're forgetting words, don't give up. You're not broken, you're just in progress. And just like these learners, you will improve.
Next, we'll talk about what not to do when this happens, because sometimes our reaction makes things worse. Let's fix that. All right, let's talk about something really important. What not to do when you forget a word while speaking English.
This might sound strange, but the way you react in that moment when your brain goes blank can actually make things worse or better. Let's start with what not to do.
Number 1, don't panic. Seriously, that's the biggest mistake learners make. You forget a word, and suddenly your heart is racing, your face feels hot, and your mind goes completely blank.
We get it, it's stressful, but panicking just shuts down your brain even more. It's like trying to find your keys faster by running around the house in circles. It just doesn't help.
Exactly. Number 2, don't go silent for too long. Many learners freeze. They stop speaking, trying to remember the exact word. But long silence can make you feel embarrassed and make the conversation awkward.
Instead, keep the flow going. You can always use another word or describe what you mean. We'll teach you how to do that in a moment.
Here's mistake number 3. Don't immediately switch to your native language. It's tempting, but if you keep doing that, your brain won't build the habit of solving problems in English.
Right. Switching to your native language might feel easier, but it stops your brain from getting stronger in English. Stick with it even if it feels hard.
Number 4, don't beat yourself up. Don't say, I'm stupid, or my English is terrible. That negative self-talk kills your motivation and makes your brain associate English with stress.
Instead, laugh it off. Say, oops, I forgot the word. Let me try to explain it. That positive mindset helps you stay relaxed and confident, which actually helps you remember the word faster.
So to recap, don't panic, don't freeze, don't switch languages, and don't be hard on yourself. These reactions only make things worse.
And now that we've covered what not to do, let's talk about what you should do, real, practical tips to help you remember words and speak more easily.
You're going to love these next strategies. Let's dive in.
Okay, now let's get into the good stuff, practical tips to help you remember words better and faster. These are things you can start doing today.
Yes, and remember, forgetting words is normal. But the key is to train your brain to store words actively, so they're ready when you need them in conversation.
Tip number 1, use the word in different ways. Don't just read it once and move on. Try writing a sentence with it, speaking it out loud, making a question with it, even acting it out. The more ways you use a word, the deeper it goes into your memory.
Exactly. That's called multi-sensory learning. It activates different parts of your brain. So instead of just seeing the word, you're also hearing it, saying it, and even feeling it through movement.
Tip number 2, make personal connections. Don't just memorize apple seed. Instead, picture yourself eating an apple or think about your favorite apple dessert. The more emotion or personal meaning you add, the more likely your brain is to remember it.
That's how memory works. It loves stories and emotions. Which brings us to tip number 3, create short, silly stories using new words. For example, if you're learning the word umbrella, imagine a cat holding an umbrella and dancing in the rain. It sounds funny, but that image will stick in your brain.
Absolutely. We remember strange or funny things much better than boring flashcards. Next up, tip 4, spaced repetition. Don't try to memorize 50 words in one day. Instead, review small chunks over time today, tomorrow, then again next week. That repetition helps move words from short-term to long-term memory.
Spaced repetition is powerful, and there are great apps that help with this like Anki, Quizlet, or Memrise. But even writing words in a notebook and reviewing them regularly works too.
Tip number 5, talk to yourself in English. This might sound strange, but it works wonders. Describe what you're doing. I'm washing the dishes. I'm opening the window. When you use words in your daily life, they become automatic.
Exactly. Your brain starts connecting the word to the action, not just a translation. That's how kids learn. They see, do, and talk all at the same time.
Here's another fun one. Tip 6, use mind maps. Let's say you learn the word travel. On a paper, write travel in the center and draw branches: airport, hotel, luggage, passport. This helps your brain organize and connect words in groups.
And when words are connected in your memory, it's easier to find them when you speak. You're not searching for a single word, your brain finds a whole group.
Tip 7, teach the word to someone else. When you explain a word in your own way, you understand it deeper. Even if you don't have a student, pretend you're teaching your younger self.
That's such a powerful one. Teaching is learning.
And our final tip, don't just memorize, use it in real conversations. Join speaking groups, find a language partner, or use voice notes. You don't need to be perfect. Just use the words, even if you forget sometimes.
Remember, use it or lose it. Every time you speak, you're making those words stronger in your brain.
So those were our 8 practical tips. 1. Use the word in different ways. 2. Make personal connections. 3. Create silly stories. 4. Use spaced repetition. 5. Talk to yourself in English. 6. Create mind maps. 7. Teach the word to someone. 8. Practice in real conversations.
If you do just 2 or 3 of these consistently, you'll start noticing big changes in your speaking ability.
And now that you know how to remember words, let's talk about how to keep speaking even when you forget a word in the moment.
Yes, you don't have to stop or panic. We'll show you how to keep the conversation going next. All right, so now you've got some great tips to remember words. But here's something even more important. You need to treat your memory like a muscle.
Yes. Just like your body gets stronger when you go to the gym, your memory gets stronger the more you use it and challenge it. The more you work with words, the easier it becomes to remember them.
Let's be honest, most people don't have a bad memory. They just haven't trained it. Think about it. You probably remember the lyrics to songs, the names of your favorite actors, or even your old Wi-Fi password.
Exactly. That's not magic, that's repetition and interest. Your brain remembers what you use often or care about. So, if you want to remember English words, you've got to work them out regularly.
One great memory workout is retrieval practice. That means pulling the word out of your brain without looking at it. For example, at the end of the day, ask yourself, what English words did I hear or learn today? Try to remember without checking your notes.
That's powerful. And even if you forget, don't worry. The struggle to remember is actually what makes your memory stronger.
Another great memory workout? Use flashcards the smart way. Instead of flipping them quickly, pause and try to say a full sentence using the word. Like, don't just say banana-mas. Say, I ate a banana this morning.
Love that. And here's a fun idea, make a daily memory challenge. Choose 3 5 words in the morning and challenge yourself to use them during the day while talking to yourself, writing in a journal, or speaking with a friend.
Also, don't forget your sleep, and hydration memory doesn't just live in your head. A tired or dehydrated brain doesn't store words well. Treat your brain like a high-performance engine.
So, to sum it up, your memory is a skill. The more you practice, review, retrieve, and use your vocabulary, the more automatic it becomes.
And just like with muscles, you might not see results in one day. But give it a few weeks of consistent training, and you'll be amazed at how many words you can suddenly remember.
Coming up next, what do you do in the moment when you forget a word while speaking? Don't worry, we've got your back. All right, let's face it, even with all the practice, you will sometimes forget words while speaking. And guess what? That's totally fine.
Yes, the goal isn't to never forget, it's to keep speaking even when you do. So let's talk about what to do in that moment when a word disappears from your mind.
Tip number 1, paraphrase. If you forget a word, explain it using simple English. For example, if you forget the word knife, you can say, the thing you use to cut food. People will understand.
Right. You don't need the exact word, you just need the idea. This skill is actually what fluent speakers use all the time, especially when talking about something new or technical.
Tip number 2, use gestures or point. If you're in person, just pointing or using your hands helps a lot. Body language fills the gap when words are missing.
Tip 3. Use filler phrases to stay confident. Say things like, I'm trying to remember the word. It's similar to, what's the word it's like? These help you keep speaking while your brain catches up.
Yes, and it makes you sound natural, not nervous. Even native speakers say things like, what's the word I'm looking for? So don't be afraid to pause and think out loud.
Another tip, ask for help. If you're speaking to someone and forget a word, just say, how do you say? Or, what's the English word for? People are usually happy to help, and it keeps the conversation going.
The key is to stay relaxed. Confidence matters more than perfect vocabulary. If you keep the conversation going, even with missing words, you're speaking English, and that's what really counts.
So remember, don't stop, don't freeze, just keep talking. Describe, gesture, use phrases, or ask. You're still communicating, and that's a win.
And now let's give you a little motivational boost. Because even if you forget words, you're doing better.
Before we wrap things up, let's take a moment to remind you of something really important you're doing better than you think.
Yes, seriously. If you're listening to this podcast, thinking about your English, practicing and learning, that already puts you ahead of so many people who give up or never start.
And here's the truth, forgetting words doesn't mean failure. It means you're growing. Your brain is learning a new language. That's not easy. It takes courage, consistency, and heart.
Think of it like this. Babies forget words, mix things up, and make mistakes every day, and they still become fluent. You're just in your growing stage, and that's a beautiful place to be.
So the next time you forget a word, smile. That moment isn't weakness. It's a sign that you're trying. And the more you try, the more fluent you become.
You've already come so far. Celebrate that. Keep going. Because fluency isn't about being perfect. It's about being brave enough to speak anyway.
We believe in you, and we're right here with you, every step of the way.
All right, before we finish, let's quickly recap what we talked about today.
We started by talking about why we forget words pressure, translating in your head, lack of real use, it's all normal and fixable.
Then we heard from real learners who shared their experiences. You're not alone, many people feel the same way, and many have overcome it.
We also talked about what not to do, don't panic, don't freeze, and don't criticize yourself. These reactions only make it harder to speak.
Then we gave you practical tips to remember words. Use them in different ways. Tell stories, repeat with space, talk to yourself, and make word maps.
We reminded you to train your memory like a muscle small. Daily workouts help your brain store and retrieve words faster.
And finally, we showed you how to keep speaking even when you forget use filler phrases, describe the word, ask for help, and most of all, stay confident.
Now, here are your action steps. 1. Choose 3 English words today and use them in real life. 2. Talk to yourself in English for 5 minutes. Describe what you're doing. 3. If you forget a word, practice paraphrasing it instead of stopping.
That's it. Small steps every day lead to big progress. You don't need to be perfect, you just need to keep showing up.
And you are doing that right now, so give yourself some credit.
And that's a wrap for today's episode. Thanks so much for listening to English Learning Podcast. We hope these tips help you speak more confidently even when you forget words.
If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share with your friends who also want to improve their English.
Next time, we'll dive into how to think faster in English so you can stop translating and start speaking naturally.
You won't want to miss it. Until then, keep practicing, keep speaking, and remember every word you say brings you closer to fluency.
See you in the next episode.
Take care, everyone!